Hello, streaming to you live. I'm Gordon with Unlock Your Bioenergy. Today is Wednesday, July 1st, 2026. And for those of you who know about July 1st, it is a day in Canada where they celebrate the corporation. And yeah, I'm not too motivated in celebrating today, but I'm going to celebrate my own way by getting it done by doing leg day exercises. And I'm going to start with a 9-minute warm-up prior to doing that. And then I'm going to talk a little bit about how old do you feel? Because if you've been following me for a while, you'll know that it's 80 days left until my 50th birthday. And I've got a smile on my face that I feel good. And why do I feel good? Well, it's because of a variety of things. But before we talk about that, let's get it done. So, if you know me, I like to play with the metronome and skip with the rope. So, I'm going to set the tempo. You see the exercises that are listed there. So 140, let's see. Just gonna turn on the speaker here. And if you listen closely, you can hear the sound of glory. It's deuterium depleted water being made. Fresh. All right, so I'm gonna set the tempo for 146. And this is I'm doing 146 today because I heard a song that was at 146 beats per minute, and I thought, oh, I'll skip to that today. That's the only reason why I'm picking it. So, got the heart rate monitor. All right. So here you see it's working. Come on. There we go. There's my heart rate. Oh, 50. Feels good to have a heart rate of 50, I must say. Pretty relaxed today. So, set the metronome at 146. And I said I'll do a 9-minute warm-up. So you see the colors there. So the 6.5 minutes of just this pace. And then I'm going to increase the intensity by doing double unders and rotating back and forth between double unders and just a regular skip. So 8 skips and then 8 double unders. So let's begin. And if there's one thing that I notice, it's the pectoral muscles today. They are sore, along with the triceps. So that's after doing push exercises yesterday. And I am wearing the X49. 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 5, 6, 7, 8. Wow. Again. My goodness. All right, so 5, 4, So with today's exercises, leg day exercises actually. I'm going to start with doing TKE hip thrusts, or TKE squat hip thrusts, or thrust hip squats, hip thrusts or squats, however you want to call it. And I like activating the entire posterior and anterior chain, and this is how I'm going to do it. So, if you haven't seen this before, it's a special variation that I like to do. Oh my goodness. Whatever. Okay. So, there's the timer. I'm going to switch the metronome back to 60 beats per minute. So you can see how my heart rate has recovered nicely. With this variation of the exercise, I'm going to also put on straps here. Yes, I'm going to use these guys. So, and what I'm doing is just taking my shoes off here so I can slide these on nice and easily. And then I'm also going to take black bands here and attach them onto this bar, which will act as an additional form of resistance. Oh, where are you? Got one of these. Where's the other guy? Here somewhere. Just don't see it. It's kind of. Oh, here it is. So, with the bands here, this is going to be just about knee height, somewhere there. I got my remote. And then, here with the vibration plate, I'm going to kind of figure out where this needs to be. So this, I'm going to step into it, and this is going to work the glutes. Okay. Something like this, I think. Yeah. Alright, then take this here and kind of set it up momentarily. This is going to go like this, and then that one will be attached here momentarily. Okay, so with the TKA portion here, I'm going to attach the bands here to the knees. And each knee is going to get resistance. So yep, that's good. All right, so I've got about equal balance of tension between the posterior and the anterior portion of this exercise. Now, I'm just going to complete the circuit here by doing this, and by stepping into this here. There we go. So the idea is to this is a real complex type of movement, and it's very natural as well, because it's involving the whole bottom end of the body. So here, anterior and the posterior chain, holding it isometrically. So I can feel the how holding it isometrically fires up the muscle. So here, going down to this point, because oh yeah. A slow negative. Wow. Get the hinge, the hip hinge, the knees are pulling forward. Wow. Ah. So doing this exercise without the vibration, you can do it this way, but the vibration just adds another layer of stimulation, of muscle activation, and when you're holding it isometrically within any part of the range of movement, that muscle is getting activate it like this. And it's very good. It's a very good training method. I don't care what anybody says. Call it goofy or whatever. It works. So whether you're looking to utilize this type of training to get that small percentage more out of your effort, it's worth it. It's time well spent. So the next exercise is quad extensions, and that's where I'm going to take I used the red bands last week, or no, I'll use the blue. For the hamstrings, I'm going to use the red. But for the quads, I'm going to use the blue band here. So what I'm going to do is they're going to come off this anchor point, and I'm going to put it on the lower one. So split one band in half, and I'm going to take another ankle strap that's just loose here, and it's going to come off this here. This is from yesterday. And these straps here are a little bit easier to put around my feet, so that's why I'm using them, because they hold their kind of shape a little more. So, and with this exercise, I'm going to take the Bosu ball that I have here, and this is going to be part of the movement to help with my torso position. So I'm going to just move this a little forward here, I think. Something like that. I might have to adjust it yet, but we'll see. What I'm going to do is lower these down. And then so you can see how these are easier to put on my feet purposely because of how they hold their shape. Now if I can only see it. There we go. So, and the idea is to have tension on the band. So there's tension here. I'll just adjust my position here. Okay, it's good. Now, by having my stomach on the Bosu ball, I can lift my heel or my glute, my hips a little bit, just to get a little different angle, and that way I maintain the activation from the vibration plate. So the idea is to hold it like this. And to work the quadricep from a stretched position. So it's almost like my heels are touching my butt, and there's tension already from the bands. So I'm just moving my heels away from my butt, just ever so slightly, holding it isometrically there, and allowing the vibration to act as the disruptor. And then you move the heels away slowly. So maintaining that position. Wow. And you can point your toes a little bit to change the feel. Get a little bit more stretch on the it changes how it feels, the quads, when you point your toes and when you don't. So these are the little things that I pay attention to. Oh wow. The legs are starting to burn. Wow. Oh my. Oh wow. How much time has it been? Did I mess this up? I put the wrong program? Longer? Oh wow. Which one did I put? Yeah, I did. I messed it. I put program 2, it's longer. Just see it. Oh well, that's okay. Oh wow. Wow. If I did the longer time, then that's alright. I wasn't intended to do that. But wow. Certainly makes the quads feel something. Alright, next up is hamstring curls, and that's where I'm going to take the same, I'm going to use red bands today because I want to be able to flex or curl the bands all the way through and hold it at peak. So, although I'm going to need this here anyways, I'm being for the tibia, I'm going to use the blue. But for the hamstring curls, I'm going to use the red. So, from the quad extensions, so it's basically an easy transition. Or no, this is from the TKEs, sorry. Alright, so this time I'm going to make sure, so program 1, there we go. Alright, so the idea here is to hold it isometrically and point the toes up now, and then the heels here to work the muscle in a different way. And it's kind of like supination and pronation, essentially, for the bicep. So and by doing it this way here, there we go. Now there's type 2 explosive, slow negative. Hold it here at the low part, point the toes, point the heels. Slow negative. Now slow contract. Follow the metronome. Hold it isometrically. Point the toes. Keep holding isometrically all the way through. Moving through the full range of movement. Oh, wow. Then you can move the feet closer a little bit if you wish, or the knees closer towards the center of the vibration plate. There we go. So, next up is ball bridges. So that's where I'm going to take just a regular weight here, in addition to an exercise ball. So that's where I'm going to take this here. Grab the exercise ball, and last week I used, I don't remember if it was 25 pounds or 30 pounds. Today I'm going to use 25, so that is orange on the power blocks. And that I'm going to place onto my hips. My butt's just going to touch the vibration plate. Whoops. Alright, P1. So with this here, this is a variation I like to do purposely like this. And so you're gonna lift your hips up while you're on the exercise ball, and you're gonna work the posterior chain. So all the way through, curl it up, dig those heels into the ball. So here I'm working the hamstrings as well. The area that you don't necessarily get with the hamstring curls because of the angle of the bands. So the idea is to activate the entire posterior chain here with the weight on the hip, and then you can lower it down. My butt's touching the ground now. Thrust, slow negative, relax, up. So this here really works the hamstrings and the glutes at the same time, and the calves get involved a little bit as well. So it becomes a very it's like a complex type of exercise. So you get a lot of muscle activation for your time spent, and which is why I like to do this. And since I have been doing this, my pants fit differently in a better way, not so tight, because the storages of fats get burnt because the body will store them there and in the particular glute area. So for those people who have a lot of junk in the trunk, this is a nice way of doing this to get rid of that junk. Wow. Oh. Even the 25-pound weight is more than adequate here to create additional tension. And your core kind of gets involved as well to hold this. So if you have issues with hip flexors as well, the psoas, this kind of gets involved, helps with that. Okay, very good. And there's different exercises you can do as well, in addition to what I show you. But this is kind of to give you the rough idea. Next up is the tibia. This is one that I like to do because it's an area that a lot of people have a weakness in. So with this here, I'm going to grab the blue bands. Just going to pull these red ones out. And then previously I had the straps that I used for the quad extensions. So I'm just switching back to this here. And with this exercise, I'm going to place the ankle straps on top of my shoes, like on the tip of my shoes, so over the ball of my foot. And then I'm going to step away from, or shift away from the wall, and have my legs rest on to the vibration plate. So as you can see here now, I just unplugged the vibration plate. So the idea is to get tension Alright, so turn the vibration plate on, program 1. And now I'm just going to lift my toes off the ground kind of thing. So I'm lifting, let's say, off the gas pedal, and now I'm going to press onto the gas pedal, but the resistance is still there. So, and these bands, the resistance is quite linear. So for those who say, oh, it's not, well, try it. Doesn't matter if you have bands that are not linear in terms of the weight, because the activation from, or the disturbance from the vibration creates that muscle to activate. And so here I'm lifting my ankles off the ground slightly, so to speak, but having my knees still on the vibration plate, and this is basically holding the ankle strap in place on my shoe. So the idea is to not have them slip off, because it's unless you undo the Velcro and tighten it, I mean, but I prefer not to undo the Velcro, just to extend the life of the straps itself. So by doing this here, so I'm basically pointing my toes kind of towards the ceiling a little bit. And now lifting off the gas pedal, holding the tension isometrically, and I can feel the tibia just firing up very, very, very consistently. And this is a fabulous way to target the tibia while you're moving through the entire range of movement. So here, you can do explosives. 1, all the way down, explode, slow negative, explode again, down, explode again, hold it isometrically, keep holding it, now always remember, if you're first starting out with training like how I'm showing you, always start with a low resistance, especially if you're doing it for the very first time, even if you are a seasoned lifter, because you will find that the muscle gets activated much differently, and you should be pleasantly surprised with how it feels. Alright, last but not least is calf raises, and that's where I'm going to take the bar here, and I'm going to add more weight. So I'm going to change to the orange band. Right now I have, these are black, so I want to put more resistance on there, because the calves itself are a very strong muscle. There's a lot of fiber there, like type 1 and type 2. So, and depending on how much weight you have overall, to get those to respond, you probably have to do what I'm doing, which will be taking the, good. I'm using orange bands, so this is going to be an extra 120 pounds worth of resistance. And some would say 120 pounds. Yes, 120 pounds of extra resistance, because this is a 30-pound band, and when you divide it in half, it becomes 60, and then multiply by 2, so it's 120. Now, oh, I'm going to do it this way. The reason why I want to put that behind. Alright, so this is kind of just a little awkward because the 2x4 is slightly smaller. So just to get on here. Alright, so here's that extra 120 pounds worth of resistance. So as if I'm standing on a regular staircase step, stairwell, and using the vibration to activate those quads, or the calves, sorry, not quads. So I can feel the calf muscles starting to fire up real good. So with this exercise, you always want to be careful that you maintain step on the piece of wood or whatever you put underneath your feet. You don't have to use a piece of ply or a 2x4 like how I am doing it, but this here just adds another layer of stretch. Oh wow. So my knees are locked, and you want all that disturbance from the vibration to activate those calf muscles. And they are just, they're really screaming. Oh wow. Trying to move within the full range of movement. Okay. Wow. That certainly works them. Those calf muscles. So, let's have a look at today's heart rate. So, oh yeah, I do remember that I was quite high today. So today's date, July 1st, 2026. All right. Starting time at 3:54 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. And my maximum heart rate I hit today was 208 beats per minute. And you can see here how, you know, and then a really strong recovery. So quite good. Let's see the heart rate zones. So I just basically touched that zone for heart rate, whereas for this zone here, 187 to 208. I was in that zone for 1 minute and 25 seconds. So for those who say, oh, you know, you have to be careful about how high your heart rate goes. Well, do I? Do I really have to be careful? I'm asking you that question. Because I think there's no denying that, you know, I am as real as a heart attack, and when I ask the question, how old do you feel? It's very specific because with my age here, I'm going to be 50 years old on September 20th this year. So 80 days are left, and I'm counting them down, and I feel much, much, much younger. And I attribute that by, you know, using the infrared phototherapy technology by LifeWave. And that's, so what I just took off, the X49, this activates the AHK tripeptide, and when that tripeptide combines with copper, that's when it becomes the AHK-Cu. And this here activates the process of photobiomodulation, as does the X49. And by using the light, infrared light that your body emits, and with the X39, the three amigos necessary combine with that copper, and it becomes the GHK-Cu, and that's where it has very strong therapeutic effects on the body. Now, it's one thing to do the exercise, because we all know we need it, especially as we age, but you also need to complement that with good nutrition, because you will never be able to out-train a bad diet. I don't care who you are. I don't care. That statement holds true, and it will always hold true. So for all those people out there that are saying, oh yeah, get your peptide, it's all marketing stuff. Really? That's not gonna save you, you know, and help you. If you got this here, if you got coerced into getting that a few years ago, well, then you were bamboozled. And I'm sorry to say that. But can you work towards reversing that? Possibly. I think so. And if you were to consider the deuterium depleted water, which I call the cleanest and most absorbable, you are getting that 2-to-1 ratio of hydrogen and oxygen, and the cleanest and purest version of it. So will that help you get cherry licorice blood? Gee, I wonder. Right? Because if you scroll back a few days and watch the replay where I talk about EBO203, you'll see that people are actually doing this. And I stumbled across another post on LinkedIn just today where people are talking about doing this, filtering their blood. Well, okay, it's one thing to filter your blood and get rid of this, you know, these proteins that don't belong. But can you remove the markers with naturally by way of the water? That's a very good question. Because if you power your body with the real hydrogen that's within water, and when it's deuterium depleted, it's not radioactive, can you experience positive things? Can you really experience positive things? Well, I think today's episode should kind of validate some of what I'm saying. At 200 plus beats per minute, I should be flatlining and my soul flying up to the heavens. But I'm still here because I'm taking care of my body. You need to do that if you want to be able to still reap the benefits and enjoy what's here. So it's all about choices at the end of the day. And are you making the right ones? Now, with this choice, you can also turn this into an income if you wish. All depends on how hard you're willing to work. Now, it's one thing to work hard here in the gym, in what I call, this is my Xbox. Right? This is the kind of games I play. The healthy kind of games. If you like that, show a thumbs up. I'd appreciate that. And I'd also appreciate if you try this risk-free. You see the QR code there? That'll take you to my shop with Lifeway. I am a registered brand partner. So my first and last name is Gordon, Gordon. Tomazic, Tomazic. You can find me on LinkedIn with my middle name Zdravko. So Gordon Zdravko Tomazic. That's the correct pronunciation, or Tomazic. I am also on Facebook and on other platforms as well. I also have a Telegram channel, so if you're browsing Telegram, join Unlock Your Bioenergy. Find it. You can find me there, and you'll see things that I've talked about over the past few years. Posted quite a few things there, in addition to what I have shared at unlockyourbioenergy.godaddysites.com. So you'll see that's the QR code where if you visit the website, you'll see the posts, the buttons at the bottom of the page, where you can find PubMed ID articles and so forth that speak about the phototherapy and the infrared technology. That's very specific. It's patented, 201 registered patents. So it's not going away anytime soon, and there's a reason for the patents. Now, if you think it's, skeptical, try it. Risk-free. And make sure that when you do so, that you're drinking, the best water that you can, and also make sure that you're getting the either Celtic sea salt or Redmond real salt. I switch back and forth between the two. In doing so, I'm getting the different magnesiums to help with hydration, because when the magnesium gets into the cell, that's when it's water hungry. And when you have water that's superb, that's really clean and absorbable, I tell you, the energy, the increased energy and vitality that you experience just from the combination of the things, it's pretty hard to beat, I'll tell you. And so when I tell you I'm feeling young, I'm feeling young. Try to skip with me at the tempo that I do, even with the with doing double unders. I don't think I'm anything special, but I'm just saying that I'm moving like somebody who's much younger than 49 years old, and I've got the heart rate to prove it. And I want to prove this too by way of VO2 max. And so I have to reach out to that third party to figure out if they're willing to still experiment. So if you're watching, I'm still thinking about you. I haven't forgotten. So experience the benefits after you pull the trigger, and always remember about the three amigos. Da 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 da. Because without the fuel, the tripeptides will not form. So if you say, I don't feel anything, well, then how are you eating? Be smart, be astute, and be sharp. And then you will feel the benefits. And the best part about this, you can take it anywhere with you. Available in 80 countries. 80. And YH Renew is your friend when it comes to glutathione. And Ice Wave, If you got a pain that you need to get rid of, like now because you fell down or whatever, use the ice wave. You should have this at least in your medicine cabinet. At least. Because it works. So that's it for today. Tune in tomorrow for Thirsty Thursday. And remember, cheers, drink well, eat well, and sleep well, most importantly. We'll see you tomorrow. Have a good night.